Hey guys, how you doing? Come on in. I'm Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs, and we're going to resin tonight. I've got a quick project for those of you who are new to resin or who've already practiced some resining. I'm going to do a project that we did the other day, and we are going to use, this is the hardener for ArtResin. And then this is the resin. So there's two parts, and you use these two parts equally. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get started here. I'm going to move the resin out of the way. And a couple of things that I want you to know. Hey Amanda, how are you? Is that when you resin, you want to work on a surface that, like a shower curtain or silicone or something that resin won't stick to. And what resin won't stick to is silicone and like a plastic shower curtain liner. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out so that y'all can see me put this down. I'm going to put this down so that I don't get I don't stick this to my glass mat, because I do have a glass mat. And resin will stick to glass. So here we go. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm kind of just starting from scratch of what I would do if I was not online. And I want y'all to see, oops, everything that I'm going to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tape the back of this. And the reason why I'm taping the back is so that if and or when you get, let me get a pair of scissors, you get any drips, any of the resin drips over the edge of your project, let me clip this just a little bit. The tape will make it so that when you pull the tape off of the back, you will, you'll pull the drips off with it. Okay, so I'm going to take a stick and I'm just going to make sure that I have a nice, good, solid seal along that edge. And I'm going to just keep turning this and taping the back of this down. I'm going to butt it up right next to the edge, but I don't want it to go over the edge because I don't want it to collect any resin in that area. So I'll demonstrate what I'm talking about here in just a minute. Okay. All right. So I'm going to see if y'all can see this. Can you see how? Let's see. Can you see how this is just slightly hanging over the edge? By having that hang over the edge, I take a chance of the resin pulling off of the side and pooling right there, and I don't want that to happen. So I am going to just snip that just a smidgen, and so now I've got that nice and flush with the edge. All right, and then I'm going to just keep going around until, hey Kathy, how are you? Come on in. It's good to see you. I'm gonna resin this project that I made a couple of days ago, that I told y'all that I was gonna resin. And so right now what I'm doing is I'm just taping the back so that in case any resin overflows, I'll be able to clean this up real easily. And I have a tendency to have the resin drip over, so I just want to make sure. All right, and again, I'm going to take this stick and I'm going to just make sure, because I can get more pressure with this stick. You can do it with your hand, but I just tend to get more pressure, or more even pressure. All right, so this is hanging over just a little bit, so I'm going to want to snip that off so that no resin will pool underneath that. All right, and then I've got one more piece I'm going to take this and I'm going to straighten this up because it's a crooked cut. Oops, it's still crooked. All right. And I'm going to butt this right up against the edge into this corner. And I'm going to just follow this along. There we go. And it's okay that that's wrinkled because down here it's not going to matter. All right, and then I'm going to snip this off. I'm going to take my stick and just get a nice good seal all along this edge here. All right, now I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to just kind of brush this off so that if there's any lint or anything on here, which there is, I'm actually getting that off of there. And then the next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to put my tape away because I don't need that anymore. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to level this. And I like to use these little medicine cups to level these with, because what you can do is if it's not level, you can stack like 2 on top of each other, or 1 or 2 or 3, or whatever you need in order to make this level. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put these 4 little cups down. And I want the cups to be inside the corner. I don't want to have the cup hang over, because if the cup hangs over like this, okay, if it hangs over like this, then the resin's going to fall on that cup and then it's going to stick, it's going to pool and it's going to collect and it's going to, the cup will end up sticking to the bottom of this. So we want the cup to be just inside this corner here. So I'm going to go ahead and put these out. And we're going to check to make sure that, okay, bring this out, bring this one out. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to put a level on this. We want to make sure that the bubble's in the middle, and then we're going to rotate this 90 degrees, or 100, actually, yeah, 90 degrees. And then we want to make sure the bubble is in the middle of that one, and it is, okay? So this is level. So now I'm ready to add my glass. And I'm going to just give this one more sweep, because I can see that there's some more debris. I don't know where it comes from, but this black sure shows it. So you want to make sure that your piece is nice and clean before you're going to add your resin. All right, I have some yellow glass, and I've decided that I'm only going to put glass in the middle of this daisy. So I'm not really using a whole lot of glass, just enough to give it a little bit of a pop. And so I want to make sure that my glass is inside the area where I'm going to, where the yellow is. I debated on whether or not I wanted to add resin to, if I wanted to add glass to the daisies, and I decided against it because this is such a simple project. There's not a lot of busyness to it, and I wanted to keep it that way. Okay, so there we go. So we've got our glass on here. You know what? Probably should turn this around so y'all can see it, because I don't really have to see this. So let me turn this around. And since I've lifted this up, make sure, because I need to make sure I have room for, all right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check to make sure it's level again. And it is, so I'm good. And I've got my glass right here. And so now the last thing that I'm going to do, well, let me say the next thing, because there are a couple more stages. Hey Lynn, come on in. Hey Carl, good to see you. All right, so I'm going to tie my hair back because there's only one way to get resin out of your hair, and that's to cut it. So I'm going to actually just kind of fold this over. And I don't have full mobility in my shoulders, so I have to kind of do this off to the side. And I'm going to just pull this through. As long as it's not flopping in my way, I'm good. All right, so I got me a little bit of, and see, there's another piece of speck of dust. All right, so I'm going to put the lid on my glass. I think this is good. And I'm going to clip that. I'm notorious for spilling things, so I'm going to try and prevent any spills that I have. All right, next step. So we've taped the back. We've made sure that the piece is level. We've added any glass that we want to add to it. And now what we're going to do is, and I don't think I'm going to need but about, I'm going to guess, and I'm going to say 2 ounces. So, let's see if I do. I'm thinking 2 ounces is going to be enough, y'all. I really do. All right, so what I'm going to do, all right, this is the resin. Excuse me, it doesn't make any difference which one you add first. Oh, you know what I'm missing? I got to put some gloves on. Let me put some gloves on to protect my hands. Now, the resin that I use is ArtResin, and it's a safe resin. Most people do not need a respirator or anything like that with it, but if you find that it irritates you, then by all means put something on to protect yourself. This is also something that you really don't want to do if you've got kids running around or anything like that, because you want to be able to kind of concentrate on what you're doing. All right, so I'm going to take the lid off of this. Oh darn, I needed my, you know what, I knew I needed that. Hey Seth, when I tell you to start a timer for 3 minutes, can you start a timer for 3 minutes for me? Yeah. All right, so we're going to add an ounce of resin. A little bit more. This is a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, all right, there's an ounce of resin. I hope that's going to be enough. You know what? I'm feeling like it's not going to be. Let me see what I got here. I'm going to take my chances, y'all, because I always end up with way more resin left over than I actually need. All right, so there's the resin. This is the hardener. There are 2 parts. You do not want to put the resin lid on the hardener stuff, or you will shut this thing like a vault, and you won't be able to get the lid off. So you want to make sure that you're always putting the right lid on the right container. All right, here's the hardener. All right. I've got 2 ounces here. I'm going to put these out of the way. All right, can you start the timer, Seth? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to stir this for 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes, I'll be able to start adding this to my project. And this really is not going to take very long. This is a pretty simple project that I'm doing today. But I had told y'all that I was going to come on here and, oh, I didn't put my apron on either. I think I'll be okay. I've got my crafting pants on, so I think I'll be okay. Now, this takes, I think, 72 hours to cure. ArtResin is a resin that was created by artists for artists, is their theme, slogan, and they're a wonderful company to work with. It's a company out of Texas. I have no affiliation with them other than I have just found them to be wonderful to work with. When you call, you get a person to talk to. If you have questions, they're willing to stay on the phone with you for however long you have questions, and they stand behind their product. They have all of the specs. If you want to know anything about how the resin is made or anything like that, they have all the information. They're upfront. They're completely out in the open with their product, and they're proud of their product. And they're just a wonderful company to work with. Hey, Margie. So I'm just kind of, right now what I'm doing is I'm stirring the resin and the hardener together. How much time do I have left?
A minute.
Oh, a whole minute. Okay. I've got a minute left. I'm just mixing the hardener and the resin together so that it will work. It'll do what it's supposed to do. And I'm thinking I want to move this up a little bit. I have the the piece that I'm going to do on a silicone mat because I do not want the resin to stick to my glass mat. Resin won't stick to silicone or like a plastic shower curtain or something like that. So you want to make sure that you protect your surface of whatever you're working on so that you don't glue your piece to your surface. You also want to have a raised surface. You want your surface to be level. If you want to, you can, time's up. Okay, thank you. If you want to, you can, what's the word I want to use? You can buy a, all right, I'm just going to position this a little bit differently. You can always buy what's called a leveling table. I have never needed one, and I've done fine with it. But if you want to buy a leveling table, I just, I have so many craft pieces and materials. I just don't need one more thing to store. All right, here we go. I'm going to start with the glass section because I want to make sure that this glass, this is what's going to glue this glass down to my project. And from there, I'm going to work my way out. I'm really stepping out on a limb here. I'm not sure if I've added enough or not, or put enough together. But we're going to see here. I think I'm going to have more than enough. This will give this a nice clear, yeah, I think this is going to be more than enough. Or maybe just about exactly what I need. All right, so I'm going to just kind of pour this on here. Let's see what we have. And I'm going to spread this out. You can use a silicone stick if you want to. I'm going to just kind of spread this out. This is going to give this is going to kick this up a notch. I mean, resin always takes your project to another level. All right, so here we go. Just going to kind of use this stick and move it around, making sure that I don't miss any spots. Oops, got a piece of glass that wants to get out of line. Got to make sure that it gets back in its spot where it's supposed to be. You have about 45 minutes of working time to work with your piece. You don't want to work, you want to make sure that you work in about 1/8 inch segments. If you're going to have like a layered piece, you want to make sure that you do it in several stages. You let it dry. Actually, you don't have to let it completely dry, but you can, what do I want to say? Hang on, I'm trying to think and do this at the same time. All right, I got a hole right there that needs to be filled in. I want to take this kind of right up to the edge, but not over the edge. And I'm probably going to need to stand up here in a minute. I'm glad I only did 2 ounces, y'all, because I do not need any more than the 2 ounces that it was 1 ounce of hardener and 1 ounce of resin, and I don't need any more than what I did. I'm going to have more than enough. So I'm glad I went with my gut. Okay, I'm just going to bring this all the way up to where the glass is. I'm just going to use my stick to take this up to the edge of my piece. This is called doming. Sometimes I take it over the edge, but for this particular project, I'm just going to take it right to the edge. If it goes over, it's not a big deal. I got something right there that needs to come out of there. This is going to give it a nice, pretty shine. This is food grade. So like if you wanted to do like a charcuterie board or something like that. I don't know how it works with as far as being able to cut on this. Like if you could do a cutting board or not. I'm not completely sure. I've never tried cutting on anything that I've resined, like a cutting board. Okay, y'all. I got the one pair of jeans that I have that fit me right now. I got resin on and it does not come out of clothes, y'all. So make sure that if you are working with resin, that you're in clothes, that you don't care if it gets on you. All right, here we go. Just a little bit. Making sure that it gets all the way, got the entire piece covered. You want to kind of look at it from different angles. And after I get it where I want everything, I'm going to torch this. And what the torching is going to do is the heat will bring the bubbles to the top, and then you won't have any bubbles in it. If you have bubbles in it, it kind of messes with the finished piece. So you want to make sure that you don't have any bubbles. Okay, let's see what we got. 2 ounces was the right number. I had a feeling. All right. Let me go ahead and just take my glove, and I'm going to just go along the edge. Get a little bit on my glove and just go along this edge here so that the edges, I kind of like my edges to look finished also. And that's why I end up with some drips, because once you break that down, I thought I was going to dome it, but I changed my mind. And I'm going to just go along this edge here. Get some resin on there. Okay. I see lots of bubbles, so we're going to take and torch this. Go ahead and just pour the rest of this on here. Okay. All right, y'all, I think we're good. Stick this on a paper towel, this over here. I'm going to wipe some of this resin off of my hands or my gloves. And I am going to reach back here and grab my toothpicks. Toothpicks are your friend. When you see like any pieces, like there's some little specks in here, and I'm just going to pick these out. And anything else that I see, like a pear or any small pieces, looks pretty good. All right, that's good. Let me wipe my hands off again, and then I'm going to torch this. Oh, I've got one piece right here. I've got something on this E. Like these black specks, I don't know where they're coming from. It might be from the paint. Whoops. Get that off of there. It's absorbing, this paper towel's absorbing my resin over here. All right, let's see. Anything else that I can find? All right, let me take my torch. I got my torch from ArtResin, and I'm just going to go over the top of this. The heat brings the bubbles to the top, and when the bubbles come to the top, they pop. And that's what you want them to do. Give you a nice, smooth finish. You don't want to keep your torch in one place too long. All right. I'm going to grab my toothpick, or actually I'm going to grab another one. And I can already see that got like a spot right here. Well, maybe I don't. Looks like I need just a little bit more over here. A little bit more over there. Seems like it's kind of low there. They say it's self-leveling, but sometimes it needs a little bit of help, I think. All right, I'm gonna wipe my hands again. And I'm going to go over this again with the torch. I got like a spot right here that looks like it missed. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm going to do it again. Second pass. Okay, let me look at it. Now this would be a good time to have a lazy Susan, where maybe you don't want to do that because it's already leveled, so forget I said that. All right, I'm just kind of looking to see. All right, I see a spot right here. Looks like it needs just a little bit more resin right there. Kind of have to get yourself down eye level to see these spots. Oops, it's stuck to it. Just kind of looking down at it. Looks like I'm gonna have just enough, y'all. I don't think I would be able to have, this would be able to take much more than this. All right, just kind of smoothing this out. I'm going to take the torch to it one more time. Just kind of making sure get every little bit of this out of here. Fill in this. I may have been able to use just a tiny bit more on here. Okay, just kind of keep looking. You're looking to make sure there's no hair or anything in it, which is another reason why you want to tie your hair back. All right, here we go. I'm going to do it one more time. Don't want to get too close to the piece because you don't want to burn your resin. All right, it looks like a spot's right here. And it is. Okay, I got that. Just kind of looking. Kind of feeling like I could have had this a little bit I think it's coming off of this thing here is where it's coming. I'm putting spots on there. I think I could have used just a little tiny bit more resin. Just looking at all the different angles, making sure that I almost feel like I could use a little bit more. So I'm going to mix up just a little bit more because I'm not feeling. All right, I'm going to do another ½ ounce. Which is 1/4 and 1/4. Seth, will you, when I tell you, will you give me another 3 minutes? Seth? Oh no, he's not in here. He left me. All right, I'm gonna stir this up. I'll just guess. Seth, are you still in here? Nope. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stir this because I feel like I need just a little bit more in here. And I have time to do it. So rather than take a chance. All right, let's see, what do I have? 606. I usually have my computer ready with the timer on it, and I put all my resin supplies where my computer was, and I thought, oh, I'm not going to need my my computer. Well, yeah, I guess I am. I knew there was a reason. But I'm going to just add a little tiny bit more to this because I'm just feeling like there's some spots that are low spots, and I just don't want to take any chances because I really like this piece. So this will show you that you have, you know, a little bit more time than you think you have. And all right, that's 1 minute. 2 more minutes and we're golden. And these little cups, these are just little medicine cups that I'm using. You can get them anywhere. I get them from Amazon. I'm gonna just keep stirring this. Hey Chantel, how you doing? I think I will feel more comfortable knowing that I have this little extra bit of resin on top here so that I don't have any divots or anything. Now, let's just say that I had some holes or something in there, then if I needed to, I could come back and I could, all right, 8 minutes, 8, I've got 1 more minute. I could come back and sand this and put another layer on it. So, I've had pretty good luck with resin for the most part. I had one piece where I had a low spot on it, and that's what's making me want to go ahead and mix up a little bit more. We've got another minute, a little less than a minute. And then when I'm finished, I will, to the right side, over this way, by the flower or by the words? Kathy. I'm seeing a spot right at the bottom of the flower is where what's making me want to do this again. All right, I'm at 9. All right, so this should be good. I'm seeing a spot right there that looks like it needs some more attention. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more to this all the way around. And I'm gonna do it on the other side too. My right, okay. Now you know that the screen is backwards. That's why I said where the flower is or where the words are. The top of the flower or the bottom of the flower. I'm just gonna add a whole bunch, just a little, so I should have done about probably 3 ounces. All right. I'll feel confident by having this extra bit on here. Where is my silicone thing? It's got some bend to it. My right, okay. I just feel better by adding the extra. It's easier to do this than it is to have to go back and sand everything down. This makes me feel more comfortable. Got some over here. Just kind of mix it in. Making sure that I got enough on here. I'm gonna just dump the rest of this on here. There's not much. Okay. All right, let's see what that does. All right, let me get my torch out again. These bubbles out. Yep, I can already see I've got some specks on here, so I'm going to need to get my toothpick again. That looks better. I got a spot right there. Heating it up helps it to move too, so I think I was just shy having enough height on this. That looks better. That looks much better. Okay, I'm glad I did that, y'all. All right, I'm gonna get my toothpick. I got a couple of white spots in here. I keep using that stick. I need to throw that stick in the trash because it's giving speckles on it. All right, I feel much better with this. Do you see anything now? All right, let's see. I got one more spot, one more bubble here. All right, let's see what we got. All right, let me get my toothpicks out. This is why I have toothpicks at my crafting station. All right, that one's got that. I got lots of little specks on here. Oh, there's a bubble. One right here. No, it must be a paint. And just kind of pick them up and get them out of there. Do one more pass, because that'll help close up those holes, those gaps. Much better, much better. Okay. And one more toothpick. I'm going to make sure they're clean so that I don't... All right, what do y'all think? One last pass. Thanks, Kathy. Yeah, that looks much better. I'm glad I added the extra resin. All right, so let me get these paper towels out of the way. The one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just take and go underneath this and see if there's any drips. And I'm going to go underneath this here. And this side here, looks like it's pretty good. Oh, I like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I got a bubble over here. I got to get this bubble. Like I said, you want to look at it from as many different angles as you can. I don't have a whole lot of mobility for getting up and moving around, or I would actually stand up. Looks like there's a piece of hair or something right here. Still there. Something right here. Okay, one more pass. Want to keep it moving. Because it will burn. All right, y'all. I got another spot. It's like I just can't seem to. I keep finding more. Gonna have to drag this off the side, it looks like, because it doesn't want to come up. There it goes. Oops. Make sure this covers my mat. Got a spot right here. And you just want to keep looking and getting your bubbles or your spots or your hairs. You can get pet hair, you can get dust. Okay. Got this over here, so I'm going to come over here. Let me just give it one more look. Oh, every time I look, there's something there. But you got to get it out now, because if you don't get it out now, it's not coming out later. Guaranteed. All right, throw these in the trash. Get some of this stuff out of the way. Get this out of the way. Just looking, see if I find any more bubbles. This corner here. got something there. Okay, that's better. There's like a little piece of dust or something in here. When I get my head right here, got it. I can see it. All right, I got it. And I got one right there. Like I said, you got to kind of get your head down. Make sure that there aren't any divots or anything. All right. And then the reason why I keep going over this with the torch is because the heat will kind of help the resin move. That looks good. Whew, boy, I think I'm done. All right, so the last thing that I will do, let me get this stuff out of the way in my box. There's a spot right there. Hang on. Let's see a little. Like a little divot right there. All right, I think I've got it, y'all. I think I have it. It looks smooth. You want it to look like glass with no. All right, okay, let me show you what we do next. This is the last step. This is a critical step. You're gonna take and you're gonna cover this. And you're gonna leave it overnight. And you're going to, in the morning, after about 12 hours, for me it'll be in the morning, for you it might be at a different time. After about 12 hours, you're gonna want to uncover this and take the tape off of the back. That'll be when it's the easiest to take the tape off, after about 12 hours. If you wait 24 hours, you're still good, but it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to get the tape off if the resin has gone underneath it. All right, I'm gonna have to get up and I'm gonna have to walk around and turn my camera off because I don't think I have enough reach. I don't want to hit this this box. So let me stand up and I'm going to say goodbye here because when I get to the other side, I'll probably flip the camera around. Y'all have a great night. I will show you how this looks tomorrow. I love you. Jesus loves you more. Thanks for hanging with me. I'm Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs. If you're not following my page, please hit the follow button. It helps me and it helps all the other crafters. Y'all have a great night. All right. Bye-bye.